My dear friends, this is a great occasion, the celebration of a centenary of Rotary in Australia. I was scheduled to be present in person at this memorable event, but it was just not to be. But do let me compliment the organizers for focusing on a subject close to the heart of the Rotary Foundation. And I especially want to thank Murray. Many of us simply take peace for granted, and I want to share with you a story. One sunny morning at the end of June, near the end of the school year, a van was filled with plastic explosives by two suicide bombers and driven straight into the forward command headquarters of the Defence Ministry of the government they hoped to topple. 6 security guards outside the building stopped them, and the 2 men inside the van detonated the charge outside in the street. All 8 were killed instantly by hundreds of kilograms of explosive charge. The roof of the building was blown off completely. About 15 houses nearby were damaged, and the debris was strewn for blocks. In total, 21 people were killed and 175 people injured, including the very young pupils of the nursery wing of the girls' school next door. As I tell you this story nearly 30 years after it happened, what strikes me is that this could have happened anywhere in the world, in any city. In fact, it could even happen today. In the last 35 or so years, there have been a total of 4,814 suicide attacks in over 40 countries, killing over 45,000 people. But this one bombing that I am telling you about today happened when the idea of suicide bombing was still very new. It happened in my home city of Colombo in Sri Lanka in 1991, 6 years into our civil war. When the bomb went off, it shattered windows in my home more than a kilometer away. When my wife heard it, she knew that it was coming from the direction of our daughter's school. My daughter was walking back to class from the stationery shop in her school, where she had just bought some pencils. She was 9 years old. What she remembers about the day is one moment walking on the sidewalks, proudly holding her new pencils, and the next, the air filled with sand, her ears ringing, and everywhere around her, people screaming, bleeding, and running. She remembers seeing a roof collapse and wait until my wife rushed to the school to collect her and brought her back to our home, which was still filled with broken glass. That war in Sri Lanka, my home country, lasted for over 25 years. It killed close to 100,000 people and displaced countless more. And because of it, my children grew up thinking of that bombing as just one of so many bombings that marked their years growing up in our city. In the last year alone, we have seen 76,000 people die in Syria, more than 14,000 in Afghanistan, and some 15,000 in Africa, in the countries of the Boko Haram insurgency. At this moment, there are conflicts ongoing on every continent of the world. The displaced number in the tens of millions. So many children who have lost so much. So many childhoods gone forever. And as we know so well in Sri Lanka, the war does not end when the truce is signed. For the people who have lived through it, the effects linger. Financial impact, families that have lost breadwinners, infrastructure that was never built, the resources that were diverted for so many years towards the fighting. That apart from the trauma in the many memories that none of us will ever be able to forget. We Rotarians realized long ago that if we still hope for peace, and we do, we cannot hope that others will build it for us. We cannot wait for governments or for the United Nations. We cannot expect peace to be handed to us from above. We must build the foundations for it from below. So we approached the business of peace building in a very different way. We understood that we would fail as an organization committed to peace if we did not address the issues of violence, genocide, inequality, and poverty. We cannot and would not fight violence with violence, but we can fight it with education, with health, and with self-sufficiency, with hope. We can fight it by doing our best to make sure that there is no one in the world who feels they have nothing to lose. We can fight it by training people with the skills and the understanding to resolve conflict, to stop it even before it begins. Now, the consequences of these thoughts was the launch of our Rotary Peace Centers, which incidentally was the culmination of our dreams of building a university. We realized we did not need to build a new university because the universities had already been built. We only needed to create the peace centers, and today we have them in 7 centers at 8 great universities around the world. Yes, today peace building is a key component of the Rotary firmament. This has always been an area of focus for us. This year, we launched the first class at the new Rotary Peace Center at Makerere University in Kampala, Uganda, the first Rotary Peace Center on the African continent. Additionally, we have just made a decision to open a new peace center in the Middle East and North Africa region. It was made possible by an extraordinarily generous pledge which we have signed with the Otto and Fran Walter Foundation to cover all costs. This is a major coup for Rotary because the Middle East is still the world's most trouble-prone region, and can you imagine the potential to do good and the positive mileage Rotary can get out of this? The generosity of all Rotary Peace Center donors has enabled over 1,400 Peace Fellows to learn new strategies for peace building and development. They in turn teach others, so the reach becomes exponential. We must also make all the other Rotary Peace Centers freestanding. That means the endowment must reach the point where its spendable earnings fully support the programs each year. We have at this point about $175 million, including the Walter gift. Clearly then, the continued growth of this program is contingent about our ability to raise enough support to fund that progression, and I am confident we are on the right track. We already know we have made a difference. Still small, but it will grow year by year, peace fellow by peace fellow. It will grow. Rotary's philosophy, my friends, is very clear. Rotary recognizes the full human equality of all people before God and before the law. Not because it's economically advantageous, although it is, not because the laws of God command it, although they do, not because it is politically expeditious, although they are, but only because it is the right thing to do. Of course, we understand that there are no guarantees, there are no quick rewards, but few things then that are worth having come quickly or come cheaply. As a former US President Dwight D. Eisenhower said, "Splendid can be the blessings of such a peace, and high will be its cost, in toil, patiently sustained, in help, honorably given, in sacrifice, calmly borne, we are called to meet the price of this peace. And because of people like yourselves, we shall. And may God continue to keep you blessed for what you do. Stay well, stay safe.